All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. It is Friday, April 19th, 2024. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on our YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and get started with the futures. 37,995 on the Dow. That is flat now. This thing was down nearly 500 points overnight with headlines regarding an Israel missile attack or missile strike to Iran. That was downplayed by Iran at both sides with mixed messages. Not really sure what happened exactly, other than those headlines that came in. Made the stock market drop overnight, and then we got a recovery. And welcome back to 4 p.m. yesterday afternoon. S&P 500 futures 5046. That's flat. 1953 on the Russell, down 0.22%. Crude oil down 0.37% at 81.77 barrel. So I guess crude oil is not showing too much panic in regards to this Middle Eastern conflict. $2.69 for gasoline futures. The VIX is up 3.67% at 1866. The dollar is pulling back 105.96. Gold is flat as well, not showing a lot of fear panic out there, yet the VIX showing otherwise. Copper is up 1% this morning. Silver futures are flat. Bitcoin is at 65,125. We breached 60,000 yesterday on futures and then snapped back with the S&P as well. Ethereum 3104 this morning. Euro dollar 106.67. They bounced 23 pips. 154.55 flat for the dollar yen. Dollar Canadian dollar 137.55 this morning. Okay. So let's take a look at exactly what happened. As you can see in regards to the banner, well, the banner is regarding the blog. We hope you join us there. Check out our website, details below. But in regards to the header or headline of this video, we're talking about how important this level is on the S&P 500. So we are not closed as of yet. So I want you guys to write this down for your notes. 50-50, 5050. If we can close the day today, the end of the day, above 50-50, this is a trend change and you're looking to go higher. Now, I wrote a note this morning as well on the blog about really this move right now hasn't really changed anything until we close. So we can have a lot of noise today. Today is OPEX, options expiry day for the month of April. So again, as you know, we are flat, but you can see this daily candle now bouncing off the 100-day moving average. This is a shooting star right here. This is probably setting up for a new trend or some kind of bounce. Really, where things get interesting to me, where it starts really saying, okay, we're kind of getting back to where we were the 50-day, 51.52. A little bit ways away, about 100 handles away. But again, getting above 50-50 at close will be very key. Look at the 3-week, the 3-year weekly candle chart. Bounced off the 20-week moving average. So that's going to be important. See this weekly close, but the daily close is going to tell me more. Again, need to close above 50-50. If we close this week below it and close the day below 50-50, nothing has changed. You're selling the rips. But for now, we're just watching and we'll see what we get. We did trade futures overnight. Well done to Nick and the crew. We've traded NQ, NASDAQ futures, and S&P futures short very quickly. It was actually a fun time to do it. We haven't had these overnight moves very often lately, and then we just got this bounce. So, but that happened really beginning of around 11 p.m. is when we started to bottom, and then we just started bouncing. So we are flat this morning, and let's see what we get today. Let's answer some questions. Good morning. Good morning. Since SPY opened a bit higher today, do you think we get a sell-off or a downward trend continuation? The only reason I would say that this is going to be sold. I believe that this will be a rally. This little pull, little push higher is going to pull us back. In order for this to really change in terms of, I guess, structure, remember we talking about 50-50, that level, but at least on SPY, or we get some sense of continuation, possibly, you got to get above at least 503 or so. Remember we talked about that gap fill on SPY as well. That was filled. So a lot of structural things, at least technically speaking, have happened that are good things. Filling some gaps, rather important. Well, have we filled it yet? 497. I don't think we filled it as of yet. So this still needs to be filled here at 497.29. So maybe we do pull back. I do expect us to pull back. Just with this pop higher, I think it's just going to be chop. And really it's going to be dependent on close. So I don't know about touch and SPY. I think futures, you have a little more kind of control there. Gap filled finally on Tesla. Let's look at it. It is bouncing now this morning. It was down after the recall on the Cybertruck. I actually saw a Cybertruck yesterday. The gap is at 146.60. We have not filled it yet. So let's place an alert there. And once we do, again, we're starting to test that 142 downward trend. We're not quite there yet, and we also have a gap to fill at 162. So Tesla's going to be a little fun to trade for the time being. Uh, but again, we do have earnings, I believe, on Tesla next week. So that IV implied volatility is going to be rather elevated. Good morning from the West Coast. Good morning. Let's see. Good morning, Carlos. Do you think today is going to be a great day for puts in TQQ and DraftKings? Thanks a lot. Absolutely. I do believe we're going to go lower. Why? Because we still have this gap to fill here on TQs, 51.75. We have plenty of time to get there, and I believe we'll get there today. So, TQQ, I fully expect us to catch that today. In terms of DraftKings, again, we flipped short. I know, my poor baby. We had calls and we got hit. Again, I do expect us to pull back as well, just to get us down to around 40 on DraftKings. So, yes, I fully expect both to hit today as we are kind of pulling back here. This was a big move bounce, a big move higher on that bounce, excuse me. But again, with OPEX, it could be one of two things. It could be shorts covering up, it could be sell the rip. I'm going to lean more to the downside because nothing has really changed. For me to change the view, you got to close above 50-50 today. Close above 50-50 on S&P. Is there a daily gap on 162 on Tesla? Yeah, on Tesla there is. Let me get those gaps again. All right, so your daily gap down is 146.60. That's your last gap there. And then we got plenty to work with above. 160, 145, 186.55. You got one at 206.50. And you got one more, I believe, at 219.92. Well, then you got one more here at 289.65. So, you know the saying, and when there's fear or blood on the streets, right? It happens. It happens all at once. Everyone hates Tesla now. Are we getting to that 140 level? Are we going to fill that gap? Cross our fingers. Then it's possibly a buy opportunity, or this thing's going to go to 100, and then, well, we'll see. Let's see. So 505, 505 on SPY. I think that's what he's asking. Let's see it. Now, mind you, I can only see this on the S&P futures. SPY has not opened yet, so I don't have today's session as of yet. So I can only go by ES. So 50-50 isn't exactly 505 for SPY, but pretty close. So it's not exactly one for one. Hi, Carlos. Some technical analysis on NEO. Thank you, sir. Oh, NEO hurts my heart. Let's see. $3.86. It's a penny stock line, unfortunately, and it's rather ugly. It's just one of these names like Blink and Neo that just got hit. These were growth names that the expectation was China was gonna move higher or growth in the EV space, but there is no technical analysis on Neo. It's just collapsing. And is this gonna go to zero? We're not sure, but 327 is next. It looks like. We traded this name many times. Look at this, from 66 all the way to 4. No real technical analysis other than the fact that lower is possible, obviously, and looks like we're gravitating towards it. Short the ribs. VLO calls update. VLO is energy. We are, let me see if we can get this up. We're a green pre-market at least. This is a tough one because we still have an upward trend, but it's making us wait. So again, this isn't exactly bearish, but this two candles are. So it's a lot of waiting. This is why we bought time. So we have until June on these. Really, what we're hoping for is some kind of spike in oil prices that'll make energy companies catch more flows and go higher on VLO. So I don't want to close here when I bought 2 months of time. I can wait this out and see where we get. Now, does it always work? No. But as of right now, I'm not going to be in an urgent place to close out of it when I can do things like TQQ and DraftKings puts make that up one way or another. And while VLO goes. Thoughts on XLE, please. XLE is still holding that support of 93.37. You go to the daily chart, you could see resistance becomes support if that holds. So if that breaks down, then obviously things will change. But as of right now, that looks like it's holding up. See, I have a break above 95.24. If we can get above there, I want to play calls up to 100. Up to 100. I don't know if we're going to get there. Gaps to fill everyone did. A Tesla. That's so true. DAL. Again, I still expect us to get to 49. I told everyone to take it yesterday just for the fact that we got reversed on DraftKings with 28% when we were at 49.80 something. That was a couple weeks ago. I didn't want that to happen with us on DAL, and yet I was expecting us to have a pullback. We had puts as well. So I'm glad we got it. We're done with it. I do expect us to go higher. If we can get above 49, maybe we can play DAL again. But again, I fully expect us to get to 50. But I was just happy that everyone got their profit. Is this a pullback 5% down from all-time highs? Right around 6% is where we were. But remember, the overnight action is only on futures. So in terms of SPX, S&P 500 is going to wake up this morning like nothing happened because it's 0.6%. All this action last night was futures contracts. Right? Thoughts on Nike options? Let's see it. I have a break above 96. If we can break above that, we do have a gap to fill here at 99.75. We can play the hundreds, or we can wait a little longer above 108.65 and play this gap fill here at 121. So 96 is my view on Nike if we can break that. And top of the morning. No, I am saying the 50 MA. The 50 MA on the price target. Ryan, I'm sick. Let's see it. The 50 DMA on SPY. I believe that's what Ryan's asking. I have 510.57. That's what I got for the 50-day. And puts on Palantir for May 3rd. Should I hold or sell? What is the strike on Palantir? It's pulling back down. I always say, if you have to ask, just close it. And I think you should close it. You're right here at the 100-day moving average. Very similar to S&P. Could it bounce there? Maybe. We will see. I'm going to talk more about this action on our weekly video this weekend, guys. We're going to talk about recapping the week and talking about the preview of the next week. We got earnings coming up as well. So a lot to talk about. It's all going to be dependent on this close. So remember your number, 50-50, S&P 500 futures. I will see you guys then. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend and stay safe, everybody. Cheers.